All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some really great news. I wish it would be better news, but yesterday I participated into the YCS remote duels. We did very well, and sadly we did not make it to day two. We were ending the tournament with 12 points. I needed 4 more to make it to day two. I didn't. I went X2 with 3 ties, and the ties were mainly due to the clock. The timer was about 50. It was 50 minutes, and I had one time extension which I was not aware of, which caused me a result of losing that match. Aside of that, the tournament was very well in terms of gameplay, and the people were really good. I met a lot of people from different different states, from California, Chicago, Kentucky. Met someone from New York who's around the corner. It was really good. I have my full tournament report, and I'm gonna give you my deck profile. A lot of people were very intrigued that I picked well, I don't even know what deck I'm playing. Prankids, excuse me, for the event. But I'll go more into it throughout it. So I'll just go through my quick tournament report. So round one, I played Salmon Grade. I 2-0'd them. Round two, I played Tri Brigade. That was the round where I had the time extension mix up, so I lost that round into game three. Round three was Orcus Eldritch. I 2-0'd them. Round four was Attic Nisters. I 2-0'd them. Round five was a Virtual World. I lost in game three. I'm trying to remember that match. If I could, that was the guy. This is the only match that I felt, I don't want to say I got cheated, but if he did cheat, then he kind of sucks. But if he didn't cheat, then all power to him. He just got lucky. He had 2 Ash Blossoms in his starting hand, and he ashed me my first turn, and then he ashed me my second turn. And if he didn't have the second Ash Blossom, I would have won. But other than that, it is what it is. He was a good player, I don't know if he made it past to that day two or not, but I only played 2 Virtual Worlds all day. That was round 5. So round 6 was against Tri Brigade. We tied because I misplayed my last turn. I just spoke too fast, and my effect orders were backwards. And if I would have just did them in the right order, I would have resulted in a win. But it was around 10 o'clock. Around that time, the event started at 1 o'clock. We definitely should not. The event should have been over around that time. So aside that, I just got to practice for more remote duels. It was my first one. And then round 8, it was really funny. I played against Fluffles. I would have won if he just played maybe like a second faster, like maybe 30 seconds faster. So I can normal summon Dropsies or Lampsies that were in my hand to be able to just burn or gain life for that extra differentiation of life points to guarantee the win. But aside that, it was all good games. So the one thing I'll say is the tournament itself. In my block, I was in the J block. They divided it between different stores around the country, so that way now Konami's not 100% handling everything. I believe the A block was Konami sanctioned, or Konami protected ran by Konami. Excuse, I don't even know what I'm saying. But aside that, I really had a lot of fun, and we'll just get right into the deck profile. There's some spicy tech in here. There's maybe 1 or 2 cards that I would change out of this whole list, but aside of that, the list itself was amazing. I did not brick all day. I only lost to Ash Blossom. There was, I would say, out of all my matchups, the only matchup that I would say was really hard was my round 7, and it wasn't anything other than he was just a good player. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. We were both respectful to each other. Other than that, everything was great. So I'm gonna get right into the deck profile. Like I said before, we were playing Prankids today at the YCS. I got 48th place out of my block, if you guys are wondering. There was like 4 pages of people. I was on the first page, so that was really really felt good to see that, after not playing in a real Konami event in such a long time, aside from locals. And I last second decided to do this the week prior because one of my friends decided to play it. But aside that, let's get into the deck profile. So we'll start with the Prankin engine. It's pretty standard. Sorry for hitting the camera. 3 fire, we call them the Lampsies. In tournament, I just call them the elements though, because it just makes it simpler for people. And then 3 dropsies, 3 fansies. I kept calling him grass, the grass one for some reason, so he's a grass now, not one type. But anyways, and then 3 Roxy's. That's it for the main deck Prankid monsters. I played the 3rd Roxy's just mainly to see if it changed between how many Prankids monsters I would open up in hand. Originally, the Roxy was a 1-for-1, but my friend said that if it's a 1-for-1, that you would probably rather have it to be a Prankids monster, and because you need to discard a monster to be able to activate for 1-for-1. And as you get into the list, it's 50-50 if you'll have one or not to pitch for 1-for-1. So you could argue to play it, but for the event, I did not. I did not miss it, but there are times I wish I had the 1 extra extender for consistency purposes. But anyways, so for the rest of the monsters in the main deck, I played 2 Ash Blossoms in the main. Sorry for the glare. 2 Ash Blossoms in the main. 2 Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. Put in so much work. I don't really remember. Ash Blossom put in work, but Ash Blossom always puts in work. She's just that generic. But the Ghost Spell put in a lot of work against the every Tri Brigade matchup. They did not only 1 Revolt resolved all day yesterday for me. So no one really got their trap off of me. It was me. They had a hard link to play around me, and it was really great. You just save it for the revolt. They don't get their chain, their 4 chain links off of the and the summon. But it was really good card. I feel like this card right now is at least for why Tri Brigade's in the meta. Even it's really good against Tri Brigade, Sky Striker. It's good against my deck as well if you hit the Doodle Doo, a couple other cards. This card's really solid for the meta right now. DD Crow, it won me a game, but I wouldn't say it was necessary to main as much as I would have liked. I didn't play 1 Sky Striker. I didn't play anything that I thought I was gonna play that it mattered. The only time it came up, I believe, was against Adignisters and Salamangrates and in Orcus, the Orcus Eldritch deck. But I think I kept them in, but only used them once or twice. For the rest of the hand traps, I played 2 Nibiru, which were godlike as always. I slammed them on Adignister boards, Tri Brigade boards. I slapped it on a Salamangreat board. Even the Orcus player, I was just putting work all day. I've used it all day. The Fantastical Phantasme, as long as Tri Brigade. Oh, excuse me. Oh crap. No, I'll edit that. That's my fault. I can just move the cards up. All right. 2 Fantastical Phantasme. As long as Tri Brigade is in this meta, and you're playing in an event that's as long as Tri Brigade's good, and you want to do well, play Fantastical Phantasme in your main deck. Not because of just Tri Brigade, but it's good against Sky Strikers. It lets you dig into your card, into your deck, 2 or plus more cards. I should drew 4 to 5 off of this card some games against Tri Brigade when they're trying to OTK me, and then I'm playing around everything that I possibly can. It is just really funny to draw so much cards off of this. Especially in certain matchups, they would try to target my monsters, and I negate with the Phantasme, and they weren't thinking about his effect, so they bait. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of small things. Phantasme put in a lot of work, and it was the first time in any event where I feel like he actually did his job. Ever in any format. I feel like he's better in this format than he was in previous formats, arguably. just from the pure amount of hand traps that, as you can see, we play a abundance of hand traps. But that is it for the main deck monsters. So for the spells, we play 2 Prankids Place, and then we play 3 Pandemonium, and then we play 1 Prankids Pranks. You could probably opt to play the 3rd, but it's unnecessary. If you want to play Mystic Mine and Terraforming, that's cool, but we didn't feel like it was necessary, because any deck that's playing Mystic Mine against us, we win inherently most of the time, because our specific build is tutored to play around the slower decks, because our combo takes our turn, if we're allowed to play, takes 10 to 15 minutes to finish the full combo, and that's including with hand traps involved and stuff like that, or if I have to use an extender. So aside that, I feel like this ratio is perfect. I considered playing a polymerization, or I would never run Thunder Dragon Fusion. I don't think it's not necessary at all in this deck. If you're playing that card, take it out immediately. It's a brick on its own. It's only good at 1 if you even do consider playing it. It's not searchable unless you're playing cards that search a fusion card, which I feel is still unnecessary because it's taking out components for hand traps and other cards that are more necessary in this metagame. So I feel like this is the best. The engine that I showed you, the monster lineup and this lineup, I feel like are almost perfect. The only thing you can maybe argue is taking out 1 Roxy's, but other than that, you don't need anything else. The second Pranks I was playing before this event, but I took it out for more hand traps, and I did not miss it at all, and I was really happy for that. Nothing really else to mention. I do not feel as if you needed polymerization or anything else in that matter. Maybe if in the future they give us some support where like a monster allows you to fusion summon, that would be cool. But other than that, I don't feel like you need anything more or less. That is exactly what you need. For the rest of the spells, I played 2 triple tactical talents. I played the 1 Called by the Grave. You could argue playing 3 talents, but it came up and it didn't come up. It was just good. It was good for what it needed to do. I only drew cards and I took a monster. I don't think I ever... No, I lied. I did 1 of each effect throughout the whole throughout the whole event. I took a card, I drew cards, and I took a card out of their hand. I've used 1 of the effect. I don't think I used it any more than once per bullet point. Aside that, 3 Pot of Desires. No complaints. It did not hurt me at all in any of my matchups. As long as you have 1 of any copy of spells, you're pretty much fine. The only thing you need, and then you only need 2 of each Prankids. You don't need 3 of each Prankids. 3 of each Prankids is unnecessary in terms of longevity of your game, but other than that, you just want the extra names to draw them for consistency purposes. But other than that, everything's fun. That's that. And then the last card I played is 1 Instant Fusion. The only card I considered running, aside that I wish I did after submitting my deck list, was maybe a Monster Reborn, but it didn't really... I don't know what I would take out for it. Maybe the Roxy's instead. But other than that, I have no idea what I would replace that for. And then that's it for the spells. The last thing in the main deck are traps. I played 2 Pointer the Red Lotus. And testing, it was really amazing. Throughout the event, I would keep them in game 1 and side them out game 2 if I would expect to go second. And aside that, I feel like they are very underrated right now. If you could fit traps in your deck and you have a combo where you can go first and survive going on your next turn, you know what I mean, and to get to your next turn, and you can look at their hand and rip a card out, then you know you win a lot of your matchups, especially in scenarios where they only have one actual starter in their hand. You take that 1 starter and they just have hand traps, and you know the rest of their hand. And the crazy part is, it's not until the end of the turn, it's until their opponent's next end phase. So they lose that card for 2 whole turns. So that's like, imagine this, they have 1 Ray in hand and no engage and no other like way to play. So you stand by phase, you rip their Ray out, and they have no Ray for 2 turns unless they hard draw it. And odds are they may or may not, you know what I mean? They play 4, 5, 6 Rays in deck, and Ray's not really 2 of them are roses, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just I thought it was really good. Every game one, I kept them in. They did. I would say the most relevant matchup they were against. I used it against Salamander. I used it against Tri Brigade successfully, and an Ignister player, and then in a game. But other than that was it. And then for two more hand traps, I played two Infinite Impermanence. It was just another name. It won me out. It only came up once in I think round 6 or 7, where towards the end of the turn they would try to use one of their effects to blow my board, and then I imperm and then kill them. And then two Solemn Strikes. Solemn Strikes, in my opinion, were MVP in terms of any of the traps. I would have arguably play 3 strike and 3 imperm, maybe move a pointer into the main or into the side. But that's like theory I'd have to test. I still like a pointer because the main issue that I had was that sometimes I'd open 2 pointers, or I'd use a pointer on top deck a pointer, so I would never be able to capitalize as hard as I'd like to on the first initial one. But it was still good. I wouldn't say it was terrible. This could have been. This is probably the only flex spot in the whole deck. This is probably the only card I'd maybe consider taking out is the Red Lotus. I wouldn't say it was terrible. It wasn't amazing. It was just solid overall. It wasn't terrible. And then aside that, last thing I'll give you guys is my extra and my side. I'll go quick through the side, but the extra deck is in quick with extra deck. So standard, 1 Battle Butler. I played 1 Rocket Ride for the fusion, 1 Weather Washer, and then 1 other fusion was Millenniumizer Strict. I summoned every single card here except this. This is the only card I did not use at all out of the fusions. Probably just take him out for something. I don't know what else. I lose to an Ash Blossom, but there was never a scenario where I had instant fusion and a Roxy, like a normal summon of a monster in my hand, and not felt comfortable doing full combo. So aside that, it was irrelevant. And then for the rest of the extra deck, 1 XYZ was totally awesome. Summoned it twice all day. Did not use its negate effect though. It was just to bait some stuff out, and they did what they could to run it over, I guess. 3 Meow Meow. Pretty standard here. Some people play 2. I feel like 3 is necessary for the grind game. Because especially in this meta where there's a lot of hand traps, people are playing Solemn Strike and cards like that to prevent you from, not even just prevent this deck, but decks in general from continuing on their combos. I feel like it's very necessary to play 3 right now, especially because the extra deck is not tight at all. Though there's honestly, you're playing like 2 cards just to play them because you don't have nothing better else to play. So I would say that is good. 3 is good, 2 bad. 2 Doodle Doo. Maybe I like Doodle Doo. I never miss a 3rd. Because you don't really need it as long as you're playing properly, as long as you're using the full combo properly, which if you guys want a full combo video, I'll do one soon for this deck. I'll probably record it later today and post it the same day or something like that. And then 1 Bow Wow. And then the last Prankids extra deck monster was Rowan Rooster. Did not summon. He's the only card I didn't use out of this all day either. Aside from the anima. He's for back row decks, but he requires 4 material, or he's a link 4, so he requires a little more material to make, but like by the time you're getting to him, you already kind of broken through all their back row. So it was kind of like not necessary, but I didn't want to take him out the extra deck just in case I play against like an NTS. Not NTS, Dogmatica deck, and they play the Maximus and they send 2, and then I have to send 2, so I don't want to lose good cards. I'd rather send the Toad and him and shuffle them back in and call it a day. But the last 3 cards are Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, and an Axel Talker. These 3 were my favorite cards, non-engine cards all day. Phoenix came up, won me a game once against Salamander round 1. I literally had I fucked up round 1 because I was just tired because I just woke up, and I I won that round obviously, but I didn't recycle the right cards with my Prankids pranks, and so I didn't have another Doodle Doo or Bow Wow to link summon, so I had a Doodle Doo on field. That's what it was, a Doodle Doo, and I summoned Nightmare Phoenix with no cards in hand. I was like, all right, 19 over Sunlight Wolf. I was like 19 over Sunlight Wolf. He Bane Links, and then I attacked with Doodle Doo, and then he couldn't do anything, so it was game. It was just funny though, because I had to do it, or because if he kept the Sunlight Wolf, he would just keep playing, you know what I mean? You gotta risk Sunlight Wolf. But anyway, for my side deck, I'll go quick. 2 Drone Lockbird, 1 Imperial Order, play 2 Kaiju. I should have played a second one of these instead of the Gamma Seal, but I didn't just have one at the time, so I didn't. But other than that, that's what it should be. Didn't come up at all, so it doesn't matter. 2 Forbidden Droplet, 2 Twin Twister, 2 Lancia, 2 Judgment, and a Red Reboot, and a Feather Duster. I'll go through what I actually used real quick. I activated a Feather Duster. I did activate 1 Judgment. I did not resolve Lancia all day. I did not resolve Twin Twisters all day. Did not resolve Droplets all day. I resolved the Kaiju. And these are only the cards I actually resolve all day out of my side. Everything else was main deck engine. As you can see, I play a lot of really generic cards in the main, so my side was basically tutored just to cover the matchups I wasn't able to cover. The only thing I should have played was Anti-Spell. Is the only thing I wish I had in my side deck. If this was Anti-Spell, I would have probably topped, honestly, because I tied because I couldn't fusion and kill them. But at the same time, I don't think it would have changed anything, depending on if they had something, because like say I don't know their hand, so if they had like a Twin Twister or a Cosmic or something in their hand, and I chain Anti-Spell and they chain that, then I lose. But I don't think they would have, because they didn't chain it when I chained Imperial Order, so it's like, yeah, so it doesn't make, yeah, I don't know, my logic was bad there. But all right guys, that is your Prankids deck profile. I will show you guys a full combo video very soon, coming up probably in the same time of posting this. Thank you for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's try to get this video to 10 to 20 likes. Please share these videos with your friends. If anyone's new to Yu-Gi-Oh that you know who's trying to get into the game, this is a good place to send them. We'll be doing some more videos of how to get into ready for tournaments, where to sign up and stuff like that, because Konami sanctioned events are slowly coming back, and things are slowly going back to normal. And all I can say is thank you for watching, and I appreciate all the people who liked and watched the last deck 2 deck profile videos. It blew our minds that we've been gone for so long, and we got Zaib's video to almost 300 views plus views. Matt's videos over like 100 something views plus views. So it's really awesome to get this going. I really appreciate you guys. So let's try to get this video to 20 plus likes. Comment, like, share. Go check out the Eldritch deck profile if you didn't already. Go check out the Stallion it's not Salamander Great. It's a Shadal Invoke deck profile as well. Check out old past content. If you have any questions, comments about the YCS, how it was run, how did I sign up, what if I won anything like that, any questions, please comment down below. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, your Sunday day, or whatever day it is you're watching this. Keep it up. Let's go. See you guys later.